Good morning, YouTube and all who inhabit it. I am bringing you a video today about some cards that I actually spot from a comic convention near where I live. I live in Japan. But first things first. So I ended up paying, I think it was about $320 overall for everything. During the time, I thought it was a much better deal than what I ended up finding out it probably would have been. I'll show you why here in a second. But first things first was, I bought this cool Seto Kaiba mat here for approximately $15. Features Sagi, Kaiba, and Blue Eyes over here on the right side. And then along with that, I found a very mint condition first edition Ultimate Rare DD Crow. Selling for, that's 4,000 yen, so that's about $40. Between the two of these, I think I paid, it would have been roughly $65, but that was the first purchase that I made. The second purchase that I made here, this stack of cards cost me $55 for everything, and I feel pretty confident that, again, I think I got a decent enough deal. Some of these cards are Japanese, so I don't know much about their prices or anything of that sort. So the stand did have one, I do like a lot of sealed product. They had one random pack of sealed First Ed Star Strike Blast, so let's went ahead and pick that up for the old collection, because why not? Moving into the other cards, I don't really know how it was priced, to be exact. I just handed them stack cards. He just looked them up real fast and came back, said everything together cost $55. And so, let me sort this out here real fast. Here are the Japanese cards that I bought. I picked up Dark Balter because its alternate art, well actually its original art, is one of my favorite arts of any card of all time. So I went ahead and grabbed that. Picked up this because this card really took me back to my days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories and always fusing into this card when I was younger. I didn't know much about Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, or didn't know anything about Meteor Black Dragon, but somehow I always ended up with this. This is Jungle Bee Dragon, for those of you who don't know. I don't think it's ever had an English release. Here we have, I think this is Crass Clown. I'm not sure its exact name. I just really like the card art, so I just went ahead and picked that up, thought it was cool. I bought 3 copies of Japanese Solemn Judgment. Mostly just for being able to have another playset, to be honest. The Ultimate Rare Chaos Emperor Dragon, 3 Super Rare Senjus. Again, Japanese art for those who don't know. A Super Rare Wild Heart. I'm actually looking for 2 more English secret rares. But just so I had a playset, I went up and picked up this while I was there, as well as a common version, just so I could have that playset. 1 Ultimate Rare Venom Naga, only $1.20. That's insane. The secret rare version of this, first edition, is out of this world in America. But picking up an Ultimate Rare for basically $1.20, big fan of that purchase. Gladiator Beast, roughly $2. This is actually my favorite deck of all time. Gladiator Beast is. I have Secret First Ed Herc and a couple of Ultimate Rares too. But to be able to pick up an Ultimate Rare in Japanese, no reason not to. An Ultimate Rare Gold, just a cool looking Ultimate Rare. I wish it were English, but I'll take the Japanese version, especially when it's that cheap. And then, as you probably know from my first video, I do play a lot of GOAT format. I kind of saw this poking around a little bit, so I just decided to go ahead and buy 3 Emissaries to the Afterlife, or Emissary to the Darkness, whatever it's called. Just that way I could go ahead and build a GOAT deck with it. When it's sent to the graveyard, I get to add 1 level 3 or lower normal monster from my deck to my hand. So those were, I believe, all the Japanese cards that I bought. Let me check, yeah. I went ahead and bought a few GOAT format commons. That's my 3rd Sacred Crane, a couple Enraged Battle Locks, because I might be able to sneak those in somewhere, and 2 Monster Gate, in case I ever want to make a Reasoning Gate deck. I actually don't think I own any other Monster Gates. Picked up 3 Magician of Black Chaos, as well as 3 copies of its Ritual. I mostly just really love this card for its art. A few years ago, more like, I want to say 13 years ago almost, I had a binder that at the time had this, a playset of Secret First Ed Volcanic Rockets, playset of Chaos Emperor Dragons and Blacklust Soldiers, and a bunch of other banned cards that now is probably worth a ton of money. It was stolen from me at my locals, as well as Dark Voltanis, and that'll pop up here in a second. I love Dark Voltanis, one of my favorite card arts. So I went ahead and picked those up while I was there. Picked up a Lich Lord, as well as Avenging Knight. I wish they were First Ed, they're not, but that's really no big deal just because they're just cool old secret rares that you really don't find a whole lot anymore. Just comment Wild Heart to go ahead and make sure I have a play set in case I ever want to build a big city deck. Found a first edition Gaudias, so I picked that up. A few GOAT cards here. Another Tsukiyomi, Swift Guy, the Fierce Knight. I have a deck with this build actually, with a Swift Guy already, and it's a really cool card to be able to just set 5 back row and just summon Swift Gaia when it's protected by things like bottomless Sakuretsu armor, Solemn Judgments, My Body as a Shield, anything of that nature. Cool card. Pool position, mostly just a card that I thought would be fun to toy around with a little bit. Book of Moon, 2 Champion Pack Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade, Mataza the Zapper, Masked Hero Diane, Evil Hero Malicious Fiend, First Ed Armory Arm, Knight and Sorcerer. Not much of a reason for any of those other than Diane was just cheap, and I think in the TCG it's actually a pretty expensive card. It only has 1 printing of it, not entirely sure of that, but I think it's a relatively expensive card in TCG. And the final card that I bought at this shop was actually this. I got this very cheap. An Ultimate Rare, First Edition, Gearfried the Sword Master. I saw this and just started digging through all of his cards. It's not in the greatest of shape, but it's a freaking First Edition Gearfried Sword Master that I got extremely cheap. I think overall, this along with that a sealed pack and a few of those Japanese cards really made that first purchase worth it for me for $55. For the next purchase, I spent, I want to say, actually, we'll go ahead. This is actually a separate purchase. I'll say that for the end. I lied. This is where I think I went wrong. I didn't check these cards beforehand. I just saw them, got excited, and just started buying. They're real cards, but I have a stack of cards here that unfortunately are all English or Asian English cards, whatever. So I forget what country these were produced for, but it makes their value much lower compared to their English counterparts, if not completely invaluable. So I definitely overpaid for these, but I think my other purchases make up for it, as I'll get to that afterwards. But these can have a Forceful Sentry First Edition, Suijin First Edition, Guarding Grawl First Edition, a Starter Deck Yugi Dark Magician, actually 2 of them, both First Edition. I definitely wish that I would have checked for that before I bought them, but that's no big deal. Still cool to have a First Edition Starter Deck Yugi Dark Magician. Monster Reborn, 1000 Dragon. This card has incredible bleeding effect if you're able to see that at all. Right through the bottom of the card and up through the top. Same thing, but still a very beautiful card, First Edition no less. Legend of Blue Eyes, First Edition Red Eyes Black Dragon. First Edition Starter Deck Joey Red Eyes Black Dragon. I have 2 of these actually. 2 Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, both First Edition. Beast of Talawar. Magic Cylinder. The second Yugi Starter Deck Dark Magician, also First Edition. 2 7 Tools of the Bandit. Sangha of Thunder. Which actually makes me happy. I think I have a Kazujin First Edition already, but to be able to have that Suijin and Sangha of Thunder to match it, even if they are the way they are, very good to have. Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Harpy Lady Sister. Karibo. 2 Dark Holes. This card I'll be throwing in my Max Ready Go deck regardless of what it says on the back. But Heavy Storm First Edition Metal Raiders. And these two, I didn't even know that they did this late in the Yu-Gi-Oh cycle. This actually made me really pretty sad when I saw this. Ultimate Rare First Edition Perfect Machine King and Horus level 6. Man, I didn't even know this could come like that. If I would have had those in English First Edition Ultimate Rare, this day definitely would have been worth it. But when you see what I got later, I still think you can all agree that this is worth the price. Here is a stack of cards that I bought. Each of these cards was 50 cents. I think you'll be surprised by some of the cards that are in here. And these are all real, none English, of the English Asian kind. First Edition Fifth Hope, Covering Fire, Royal Oppression, 2 DB1 Call the Haunted, a First Edition Snatch Steal, Skilled Dark Magician, Torrential Tribute, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Ultimate Rare Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Not First Edition, a little played, but that's an Ultimate Rare Phoenix Wing Wind Blast for 50 cents. Really good condition Defensive Tactics. Again, I love Gladiator Beasts. Super Rare Manju of the 10,000 Hands. Secret Rare Nova Summoner. This is one of my favorite cards, actually. Back in the day during, I think it was the very first regional I ever went to, I played a zombie synchro deck that had the light zombie monsters as beatdown monsters. Herald of Orange Light as my tuner, along with Honest. And I would just use this Creature Swap, Spearman Turtles, and Goblin Zombies to tutor out the tuner, as well as Honest. Bounce it back to my hand. I could use it with the light zombie monsters at the time. And we're in Skill Drains. That deck was a lot of fun. 2 Battle Faders. This just kind of goes back to I just saw them, so I grabbed them. 3 Master Dianes. Again, I don't know how much these are worth, but I figured for 50 cents a piece, I'd be wrong not to pick them up. Cybersaurus, Trubin the Fire Knight, Flame Ghost, another Flame Ghost, 2 Dragoness the Wicked, Parasiroid, Ultimate Rare Vayu, Emblem of Honor, Ultra Vayu. I was a big fan of the old deck DBZ, Dragons, Blackwing Zombies, if you remember, that revolved around this, Malicious, Plague Spreader, and Armageddon Knights, and Dark Grepher. Ultimate Rare Blazewing Butterfly, Coral Dragon, a Go-Yo Guardian, just First Edition, not Ultimate Rare, that would be nice. Actually, what is this? Yep, there's another one of the English Asian. Elemental Hero Shining Phoenix Enforcer, Fiend Skull Dragon, Reaper on the Nightmare, 2 Armades, both First Edition from Judgment of the Light, Ultimate Rare Gaia the Giant, or Gaia Plate the Giant, Earth Giant, wow, that was bad, Levair, Leviathan, a Burial from the Different Dimension, First Edition Book of Life, and 3 Book of Moons. So every card in that stack was 50 cents. And this is a stack that I bought from the same guy. I think overall for this entire stack it was, besides 1 card, and I'll pull that out, this stack cost me, I want to say it was close to $25 for this stack of cards right here. Like I said earlier, Dark Voltanis is one of my favorite card arts. So he had 2 of them First Edition. I went ahead and picked those up. Not a great card, but man, do I just love the way that card looks. Turbo Pack Dark Grepher. Saw that, couldn't pass it up. Dark Arm Dragon Secret Rare. Not First Edition, no big deal. Matches my other not First Edition Dark Arm Dragon. And it's now at 2, so I don't play Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! By any means, but Dark Arm Dragon and its formats are some of my favorite formats in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Ultimate Rare Black Rose Dragon. Wish it was First Ed, but that's now my highest rarity of Black Rose Dragon. Still on the lookout for that Ghost Rare First Edition. That's not going to break the bank, unfortunately. This card, Iris the Earth Mother. I've seen this probably for the past couple of months. It's not a great card. I don't even think it's that expensive. I have no idea. But they weren't first edition. I couldn't bring myself to buy this card if it's not first edition. Found it in there today, first edition, and just noticed, actually, its face has no hollow foil over it. I don't know if that is normal or what happened there. It looks like there's a slight shift, actually. It's up a little bit for the Ultimate Rare foiling. I don't know if you can tell right there. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. But I saw this first edition, and I knew I had to pick that up. That was a great find. Been looking for that, actually, for a while. Turbo Pack Sangan. I don't know if these things are still worth what they were going for a couple, I want to say just weeks ago. The last I saw, this was pushing, I think it was 50s or 60s per copy of that. So I don't know if that's still going on. And like the Retro Pack was going, I think it was for almost $80 a piece. Of course, that's on TCG Player. That's about the only site that I used to either buy or price stuff. The Dark Creator, first edition, to kind of go with that Dark on Dragon. Great card, not a whole lot to say there. An Ultimate Rare first edition Mystic Swords in level 4. If only I can get that level 2 first edition Ultimate Rare to match my max rarity GOAT stuff. And this was, I don't know how I don't even know what the price is, but this card has to be worth just a ton of money. Great Shogun Chien, Ultimate Rare first edition. This thing's in very good condition too. There's a tiny little nick up here in the right corner. Other than that, I haven't taken it out of the actual sleeve. It might be double sleeved, actually. No, it's not. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it in that sleeve. I'm a big collector of just cards in general. I haven't shown any videos of my collection, but I saw that and I know I had to get it. Now this, I don't know how much he charged me. This seemed to be the one card that this guy knew what he had. He saw it and he's like, wow, you're willing to pay a lot of money. I was like, yeah, I am. So I don't know how much he actually charged me. He just gave me the total price of everything. But I've been looking for one of these for a while, but super rare compulsory evacuation device. I figured if I'm already spending this much money, what's one more it's something like this going to do? So I went ahead and picked that up. And then this card, this was the find of the day. I found this. This also goes with this pile of 50-cent cards. I was just scrolling through there, and wow, did I come upon an absolute piece of gold in the litter box. You know what I'm saying? So I love tournament pack cards, champion pack cards, like hollow, even like rares, for anything that matter. But I've been looking for a play set of these. Still on the lookout for 2 more, but having just found one for 50 cents blows my mind. This thing's in incredible condition too. Giant Germ, Champion Pack 5, super rare. Absolute insane find. 50 cents. Sometimes people just don't know what they have. He may have got one over on me with all these English Asian cards, but wow, he did not know what he had there. Then this was the final card. I have no idea how much these cards are. If you know a lot about the game, you know Bandai was actually the original producer of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. I don't know how many cards they made or anything of that sort. This might even be the cheapest, easiest one to get, but I saw it had a sweet case, and I don't think I've had too many opportunities to pick one of these up as I've gone through and seen collections, things of that nature. So it cost me 30 bucks. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not even worth that at all, but I picked up the Blue Wise Ultimate Dragon Bandai card. It came with this case with it, so I thought it was a really cool pickup, something that I'll probably have for the rest of my Yu-Gi-Oh collecting career, which will probably be the rest of my life. Yeah, so that was the pickup for today. Like I said, it cost me about $320. I think I did pretty well, especially with some of these cards in this stack over here with the Giant Germ, things of that nature, and the Gearfried and the 50-cent pile. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Have a great day. Bye.